Today I'm going to go over some of the things that could cause a vehicle to have a long crank time before it starts. So I'm out here on the Ford Taurus, and recently I've been noticing a longer crank time before it starts. Car runs great, there's no codes, no check engine light, nothing like that. So we're pretty much going blind into figuring out what or why it's doing that. Now there's a couple of things that could be causing that. Fuel pump, fuel filter, mass airflow sensor, an IAC, idle air control sensor. But without a code, it's difficult to tell what you got or where to look at. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the fuel pump. There's a simple way to see if that is actually the issue, if it's turning on or not. So the way to do that is to cycle the key, the ignition key. And what I mean by that is you take the key and you turn it to on. You should hear the pump in the back tank kick on and shut off. Then you're going to turn it off and do it 2 more times. And that'll do 2 things. It'll let you know that the pump's kicking on because you'll be able to hear it. Well, you should be able to hear it. Most vehicles you can hear it. And 2, it'll pressurize the system or the fuel lines to the injectors if they're not pressurized. There is a check valve in most fuel pumps that holds the pressure in the fuel line while the vehicle is not running, and that could be an issue too. If there's no fuel pressure in the fuel line, the pump has to actually build that pressure up so the car can start, and sometimes that'll cause a longer than normal cranking condition. We're just going to turn the key to on. Back to on. And now we're going to start the car up, or try to attempt to start the car up, see if it changes the crank time. Alright, so cycling the pump made no difference as to the long crank time on this vehicle. So I'm going to do 2 things. I haven't changed the fuel filter in this car since I've owned it. Bought this thing with 60,000 miles, now has 150,000. So we're going to change that. We're going to check the air filter, and if need be, we're going to change that. So we know the pump, the fuel pump, is actually working. Don't know if it's working optimal. That would require a fuel pressure test, which we're going to start with the 2 basic things first, the air filter and the fuel filter, and going to go from there. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change out the air filter, since I haven't changed it in a while, and I'm pretty much betting on it being pretty dirty. So I'm going to take out the 2 clips on the Taurus, and this just pops out and the filter comes right out of there. Alright, you can see this filter's got quite a bit of dirt stuck onto it and stuff. It's not overly bad, but it should be changed. It's been a long time, and here's your new filter. We're going to go ahead and put that in. Alright, so the new filter is in place. Secure the clips. And that's that. To change the fuel filter, you got the engine running. I'm going to pull the fuse to the fuel pump and let it run till it dies out. Now we shut off the key of the ignition, and we can put the fuse back in. So we can put the cover back on. And what that does is it takes all the pressure out of the fuel line, so when you go to take the fuel filter off, you don't have any fuel spraying on you and whatnot. Let's go jack up the car. Fuel filter runs along the right side of this vehicle underneath, so we're going to jack it up here with a safety stand. Give me enough room to get under there. So there's your filter. It's on the passenger side, like I said, right in front of the rear wheel. 2 hoses, 1 out, 1 in, a fuel in, fuel out. There is a clip that has to be popped out of this one. You stick a screwdriver into the top and that'll pop that clip out, and same thing with this one. There's a little clip up top, you just got to pop them out. Make sure when you're under the car you're wearing safety glasses. So that clip's probably going to break on you when you get it out. Don't worry, the new filter comes with new clips. Be careful, because when you take this off it's probably going to leak a little fuel, so put something on the ground to catch it, and then you just got to remove the line out. So that clip goes into the top here. All right, so there's a new filter. Like I said, it comes with the plastic clamps for the hoses. Now it does say in on this side. So this is the side where the fuel comes into. This is the side where the fuel goes out. Now it's just a matter of getting it back in there. We're ready to start her up and check for leaks. Now you know there's no leaks, you're good to go. All right, let's check out how fast she starts up, if it made any difference, or how long the crank is. Look at that, starts right up. Wow, what a difference. By changing the air filter and the fuel filter, which I think the major thing here was the fuel filter, since it's never been changed with 152,000 miles. It'll be interesting to take a look inside that filter. We're gonna go ahead and open it up, or I'm gonna attempt to open it up and see what it looks like on the inside. Figured you guys would be interested in that too. I know I am. Take a little look at the fuel coming out of this thing. Wow. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. Holy crap. I'd say it was time for a fuel filter change. Look at the color of that. It's black. It is crushed. I don't know why it's crushed like that, but it is. Wow, there's all kinds of dirt and stuff in there. Look at that. Look how dirty. I don't know why there's a stringer on here, around the filter, but look how dirty that thing is. Can you see it? And that ain't from cutting it. That's actually dirt from the tank and fuel and whatnot. So yeah, I'd say that this was my issue, and now that it's actually starting up real quick, I know this was my issue. That is nasty. Now this here is from cutting it when I hit it with the saw, but that thing is, well, you saw the fuel that was coming out of this thing. It's funny how when I was taking the fuel out, the other side that was going to the engine was actually coming out clean fuel. Pretty cool though. I've never seen the inside of a fuel filter, and that's kind of wild that they actually tie a string to it. So there you have it. Now you've seen the inside of a 150,000 mile fuel filter. Boy, that was cool. Checking out that fuel filter. I've never done that before. There are other things that could cause that. Fuel pump, like I said earlier, the regulator or the check valve in the fuel pump could cause that. Mass airflow sensor could cause long cranking times, issues with the IAC, idle air control valve, maybe a throttle body. But always start with the basics. If you haven't changed your air filter and your fuel filter in a while, you might want to do that. Start with those two items. Anyway, you should be changing those according to your manufacturer's recommendations, or whatever the chart says for your model vehicle. Problem's all set. No more issues with the long crank times, and I'm good to go. Hope this is helpful. You all take care. God bless. See you later.